Hi to all you awakening souls out there. Welcome back. This is Jules. I still don't know what I'm going to call this channel, but we're just going to roll with it. All right. We're just going to stay in flow. I really wanted to share something that I naturally experienced on my journey of healing and awakening. And that is the awakening of the divine feminine energy within. In this vast tapestry of spiritual awakening that's literally happening on such a massive scale right now on the planet, unless you're living under a freaking rock, you would have seen that, there's certainly a major emergence of this powerful force, the awakening of the divine feminine. I mean, it's everywhere, right? But what does it truly mean to actually heal and awaken and embrace this really powerful divine feminine energy? Well, that's what I wanted to touch on a little bit on here in this message, because it's just something that, again, it's in our faces, it's everywhere. Everyone's living their soft life, loving it. But I just really wanted to touch upon it because it's such a huge topic, such a hot topic right now. So let's get into it. First of all, let me just make it clear right in the beginning that when we're talking about the divine feminine, we're not referring specifically to a gender, okay? We're talking about energy here. The divine feminine is a sacred, nurturing force that lives within every single one of us. It lives within all living things, and it's longing to be recognized and integrated. So first, let's get a basic understanding of what divine feminine is. Historically, a lot of cultures worldwide, I mean, if you look at the history of any tribal culture anywhere, they have revered the divine feminine energy in many various forms. We've read about goddesses, we've read about earth mothers, we see symbols in history of fertility and creation. And this is all in connection to this sacred feminine energy. But now, in our current world today, in our current society, we have a really distorted view of what it means to embody the feminine energy, like what feminine energy embodiment truly, truly means. For the unawakened soul, and I use that term lightly, I mean, we've all been there at one point, so no judgment here, promise. For the unawakened soul, feminine energy is somehow derogatory, right? It brings up like these feelings of being uncomfortable, being a girl, like being too soft, being a pushover, being girly is seen to be this super negative thing, right? But here's the thing, like divine feminine energy, it's not only about embodying softness, okay? Like social media culture is pushing so hard right now, right? Feminine energy embodiment goes so much deeper than just being a soft girly, okay? It goes so much deeper than just living a soft life, which is great and all. Like I said, I freaking love it. But the thing is, softness is only a small aspect of the feminine energy embodiment. And this is really, really why I want to talk about this, because it's important to understand that there's so much more to feminine energy than just being a soft girly, right? Divine feminine energy is also about embodying intuition, which nobody freaking talks about, like deep, deep intuitive guidance, wisdom. And I'm talking about real wisdom, like deep wisdom, like soul connection to the universe wisdom on such a deep level that you're connected to universal guidance, you're connected to universal wisdom, you're connected to universal intelligence and universal intuition, okay? This is all part of the embodying the divine feminine energy. It's also about being forgiving. Oh my God, why don't we talk about that part? Everybody wants to be soft, but like, can you be forgiving? Can you be understanding? Can you be compassionate? Right? These are all the true facets of the actual divine feminine embodiment. Embodying all of these aspects, or at least doing the work to, right? At least trying to, or making it your goal to do so. That is true feminine energy embodiment. We also know that divine feminine energy is deeply connected to the moon. And this is due to the fact that, the phases of the moon mirror the cycles of, or the other way around, like the phases of the feminine energy in a woman's body mirrors the phases of the moon, the cycles of birth, growth, fruition, release, right? Much like the physical bodies of a woman whose primary resting state is feminine energy. Now, even though I said before that we're not talking about gender, no, we're talking about energy. When we're in reference to the divine feminine energy, we're not talking about gender. I do feel it's important to mention here that those of us who incarnated in this physical reality in a female body naturally rest in a feminine energy state. Okay. We also have masculine energy. Like I said, we have both energies within all living things. However, our dominant energy in a female body and the energy we find the most strength in, the energy we thrive in most, is the one that is most innate to the feminine body, which is feminine energy. But in today's world, where the masculine principles of action, competition, logic, thinking, that dominates everything. And because of that, there's a major imbalance. This overemphasis on these aspects has led to a major disconnect, has led to a lot of freaking stress and a loss of deeper connection with ourselves and with the earth and with the divine, with God. This is such a hot topic in the spiritual world because the feminine energy of the planet as a whole has been severely suppressed, diminished for a really long time. The issue is many of us are so severely disconnected from this energy, but if you're here and you're listening to this, then you are hopefully one of the ones who are seeking reconnection to yourself and your divine feminine essence, right? I hope you are. So thank you. It's really amazing. And I'm glad you are, because this is really how we bring about the balance that is so desperately needed on our planet right now, right? And if you also listened to any of the energy forecasts like I did for the age of Aquarius, which we launched into at the close of 2020, then you also heard that this age would give rise to the divine feminine. You see, we live in a world of duality. This 3D world that we are all experiencing is based on contrast and polar energies, good, bad, up, down, lightness, darkness, man, woman, masculine, feminine, yin, yang, right? We also live in a world of cycles, right? Everything in nature is cyclical. So naturally, we will go through cycles where one aspect of duality overpowers the other, right? Where there's more lightness than darkness, where there's more chaos and war than peace, right? Where there's more yin than yang. And right now there's more masculine energy overpowering the planet than feminine, but nature always finds a balance eventually. And the age of Aquarius was said to be the period where balance is finally being restored, where the divine feminine essence is coming back onto the planet, being reawakened in a lot of individuals so that we can tip the scales more towards balance, if not, completely, at least a little bit, right? So for a really long period of time, masculine energy has overpowered the planet, overpowered feminine energy. The overall energy of the planet has been widely tipped to the masculine side of the scale. So right now, a call for balance is so needed. It is necessary and it is vital. So in true Libra fashion, I am here to help facilitate this balance on the planet. I can only hope, okay? So now let's talk about how we do this, right? How we reawaken, reconnect with the divine feminine energy that is truly innate to all of us. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about embodying all, or at least as many, of the true aspects and facets of the divine feminine energy. It is certainly a journey, and it takes true dedication and daily practice, but it begins with introspection. It begins with acknowledging any suppressed emotions, with healing any past wounds, with rediscovering your innate wisdom. It's all about listening to the whispers of your soul as opposed to your ego, right? And honoring your intuitive insights. For me personally, this naturally developed the more I awakened. And I think for a lot of spiritual beings, it did too. I mean, we're all spiritual beings. I mean, but like for a lot of awakened people, I think it did too. The deeper I went in on my spiritual journey, the more I connected with myself. And it was just this natural side effect of raising my consciousness, of becoming a higher vibrational being, of getting out of living in victimhood, right? Because really on this spiritual journey, all you're doing is connecting to your truest self. All you're doing is coming back to the core of who you truly are, your whole being. And for me, it was, very simply put, my being is a genderless soul. Yes, the soul is genderless, but this is a genderless spirit who chose to experience this particular timeline and this lifetime in this body of a woman. I chose to incarnate as a girl, as a woman, right? Therefore, my truest, most authentic way to do this is to connect with the very essence of that experience, which is leading with feminine energy, right? So my truest, most authentic self in this very timeline is a female woman who innately leads with feminine energy, okay? Now, I want to briefly address spiritual integrity when awakening your divine feminine energy, because right now it's so darn easy to get swept up in all these trendy ideals about what it is to be in your divine feminine energy. Spiritual integrity is paramount in this awakening journey. If it's going to truly stick and be real, it's gotta be real, right? It's so important that you find a way, my suggestion, to disconnect as often as you possibly can. I do this a lot. I go off the grid a lot. I don't touch my phone very much. Like, you can tune inward when you disconnect for divine guidance instead of looking on social media, TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube, right? It's all about authenticity. It's about genuine connection. It's about walking your talk. It's not about following trends, okay, or doing lists or, external validation, but it's about aligning with your inner truth. But only you can discover that. Only you can find that. I can't do that for you. No one can do that for you. Only you can do that, okay? Now, let's get into ways to tap into your divine guidance, nurture your divine feminine energy, and engage in practices that are going to realign, cultivate, introspection, compassion, creation, connection, all of the attributes we spoke about, right? Here are some suggestions to get you started. But once you get started and you start connecting with yourself, believe me, you will find your own practices. You will find what works for you. Okay. So the first suggestion is meditation. I'm sure you all saw this coming. Meditation is the best and fastest way to connect to your inner self, to connect to the universe. If you want to connect to higher guidance, to divine guidance, meditate. I highly suggest my meditation on this channel, the meditation to feel your inner body. It's a quantum body activation, and it's so powerful. It will change your life. It changed my life, and it will change your life completely. The second thing you can do is get creative, right? You can paint, and it doesn't have to be like great, all right? Just do it. You can paint, you can write, you can dance. Just let your soul speak whatever it wants to do. Even something as simple as journaling. I have been in course creation mode for the last almost 3 years, and this is really what gets my juices flowing. It's what sets my soul on fire. But the divine feminine is a natural creator. So start creating something, okay? The third is to connect with nature. spend time in nature, grounding yourself. If you're like me and you prefer to ground indoors, which I do, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Go check out my video on grounding for some ways that you can ground inside. You can ground without going outside. And yes, it is just as effective. Okay. Next thing you can do to connect with your divine feminine is form or join a sacred sisterhood. Start engaging in women's circles, supporting and uplifting one another. If you don't have one, can't find one, and you'd like to join mine, leave a comment below and I will send you a link. Okay. But find a tribe, find connection with other women, talk about women's stuff, talk about periods, talk about whatever, anything that makes whatever you're going through that time, that week, just talk about it. Talk about what it's like on this journey of awakening your divine feminine. Let it all rip. Okay. As more people, especially women, awaken and embrace their divine feminine with integrity, a ripple effect will occur. Relationships are going to transform because there will be more understanding, there will be more empathy and deeper connections. Communities are going to heal and become more empowered because every individual will be doing their healing, and that helps the community and it helps the collective. There will be more collaborative efforts, and a harmonious balance between the masculine and feminine energies on the planet will emerge. The divine feminine awakening is a personal journey. Yes, it's personal, totally, but it does have immense impact on the global collective. It has an immense impact on the collective evolution, not just for our planet, but for the entire universe. As we start to honor and integrate this sacred energy, we pave a way for a more compassionate, a more balanced, and a more harmonious world. All right, so I want to see you all embracing your divine feminine. Share your journey below in the comments. And all the ways in which you awaken and nurture your feminine energy. Thank you for watching and listening. If this resonated with you at all, please share, like, and subscribe. Ginger says hello. You hear his jingle bells. If I don't post the video, you'll hear his jingle bells. And subscribe for more insights on spiritual growth, on conscious expansion. Until next time, embrace this journey with love and integrity. Cheers.